here's the big question. You're interested in value investing and valuing and evaluating businesses on a deep level, but you don't know how, even after researching for hours, probably dozens of hours, hundreds of hours on the internet, and because nobody else shows you how to do it. This podcast has all those answers and much more about value investing in finance. My name is Jason Rivera. Welcome to Value Investing in Your Car.
Hey, Jason here. In this episode of Value Investing in Your Car, we're going to talk about a concept called unique ability and help you kind of begin to think about hopefully what is your unique ability. Before we get to that, this series is now available as a podcast on all major platforms, whether they be Apple, Android, PC. Platforms like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Podcast Go, Anchor, podcast.com, and more. This podcast is now available on all major platforms. So if you want to listen to us as a podcast, make sure to find us on one of those platforms. There should be a link above or below this video as well for those to take you to those some of those platforms as well. Okay. So in last week's video, I talked a little bit about unique ability, and I wanted to expand on that in this episode, frankly, because I think it's an incredibly important concept that people pretty much worldwide, I think, could help them, could help you in your career, could help you in your business. Help you as an entrepreneur, help you as an investor, help you in your family life, help you with your kids, help you with your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Oops, kick the table here. Help you in pretty much every aspect of your life, in my opinion. How important is it? That I first learned about it about probably this time last year or a little bit earlier, maybe summer of 2017. And I've been learning a lot more in depth about it since then. Also, in one of the other Value Investing in Your Car episodes, this was one of our free training videos. Because most value investors this is, again, such an important concept that most value investors are known as incredibly cheap people. This program by Dan Sullivan, he's the one who talks about unique ability, and he has a company called Strategic Coach. I want to get to the level where I am making $100,000 plus a year so I can join his programs to learn more from this. Again, value investors are known as super cheap people. In the free training, I believe Friday video, I believe it was called The One Area I'm Not Cheap, I talk about programs that I'm accumulating, kind of stacking up in my computer bookmarks of programs I want to join at some point once I can. This is one of those programs. Again, this is how important I think it is. So what is unique ability? His concept of unique ability is finding what you do great and focusing pretty much only on that to get to higher and higher levels of success, whether it be monetary success, whether it be helping more people, whether it be helping you reach your goals, whatever your ideal of success is, focusing on only a few things that you're great at and that you love doing, and delegating or eliminating the rest. So what does that kind of look like in real world aspects? I'll give you me, for example. When I first learned about this concept, I was consulting with a group of guys I've done consulting with off and on over the past 3 years or so, and I was just burnt out. I was working like I don't remember how much, but like 80 hours a week, and I finally went to them and I was like, I need some help or something. I need to figure out. I'm doing so much, I just feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels. If you've ever had that feeling, and if you're an entrepreneur, value investor, you likely have. I was just kind of spinning my wheels and felt like I was doing a million things and never really getting anything done. So I called him, one of the guys I was consulting with, on the phone, and I was expecting to kind of hear the typical, you need to do more, you need to be more efficient, you need to be better with your time, that kind of stuff. He was like, I wish you would have told me earlier. And he had me do this exercise, which is from Dan Sullivan. and strategic coach is you list out everything you love doing and that you're great at on one list, and on another list you put everything you either don't like doing, suck at doing, you shouldn't be doing because it's not worth your time, or that you should be delegating. So on one list, on one side of the list, you put everything you are great at and that you should be doing. On the other side is everything else, essentially. So I sat down and probably 30 minutes or so this took me last year when I first did it, and I think there was like 6 things on my list of things I should be doing, and there were like 30 or 35 things on my list on my list that I should not be doing. I was like, holy crap. And it just immediately kind of changed, doing that exercise, it kind of immediately changed my mindset of where I'm focusing my time and where I should be focusing my time, to build businesses, to spend more time with my family, to help more people, to at that time do a better job at the consultings, use my time more efficiently, these kind of things. And there again, and I just did it again probably a week or 2 ago. And again, there were, I think, about 5 or 6 things on the list. I think I might have added or taken away 1 or 2 things on the things I should be doing list. And I stopped at about 30, 35 on the things I shouldn't be doing list. And just told, because I'm doing this for my team, we're all going to be focusing more on what we love doing and what we're great at. So I'm going to have my team do this as well. But I did it first, and literally I have a list of, again, 5 or 6 things that I should be doing. Things like servicing clients, building courses, creating content like this for you guys, writing, reading and learning. What else? There was maybe 1 or 2 other things on there, but I can't remember what they were. Things like this, and then again, everything else, building automations and integrations, building Facebook ads, sending emails, anything again that's not of those 5 or 6. I just stopped. I made a list and I got to like 30 or 35, and I just stopped, and I have a note to my team. Anything that is not specifically on the list of things I should be doing, I should not be doing. And again, I'm going to have them do this as well. So what does this kind of do for you? Again, I said it kind of immediately changed my mindset. I was like, oh, and I believe at the same time I read or had reread the book The One Thing, combining unique ability with the one thing, and Deep Work by Cal Newport. 3 fantastic kind of resources on how to focus more, reach higher levels of success, use your time better, all this kind of stuff. And so I looked at the list, and again, immediately kind of changed my mindset the first time I did it. And the second time I did it, same thing. Even though I knew about this and had been learning even more about it since then, I did it a year later, and pretty much the same thing. So what has this done kind of on a business level for me and my team in the last couple of years, or in the last year or so? We've started several businesses. I wrote a completely full-length another book. We've redone the website once, and we're going to redo it again. What else? What else have we done? We've expanded our we've built courses. What we up to? I think 4 or 5 courses now, in-depth courses on value investing, finance education. We've started all these podcasts. We've started this podcast. We've started all of our series. I think we have 5 or 6 series now going on the blog on a regular basis. And these are just some of the things that we've been able to accomplish, and there's more coming as well. We've produced more than 350 videos of this kind, and for our students in terms of the coaching programs and the masterclass, 350 plus videos. I've got more time to hang out with my kids. I've got more time to think and strategize about business. I've got more time to think about where we can do things better in terms of marketing, and that rolls into helping more people, and all this. It just helps you give you more time to do everything. Uh, it literally, and this alludes to, I believe this was definitely a previous value investing in your car episode, was the most important thing I learned in 2017, I think is the title. This is it. This concept of Dan Sullivan's unique ability, strategic coach, and kind of everything he talks about was the most important thing I learned in 2017. It's probably going to be the most important thing I learned this year as well, because I've learned so much more about it and gotten more in-depth knowledge, and we've actually started implementing. Now we've gotten done with most of our major projects. We've started implementing this stuff myself. And me and my team again are going to implement this stuff as well, so we can service you better, so we can help more people, all this kind of stuff, so we can focus more. I'm a huge believer that for my generation and younger, and this will go into another concept, is, and this will probably be next week's video, value investing in your car, is what is your competitive advantages. And actually I'll save it for then, as a little bit of a tease, and so I can think about it a little bit more and get some more concrete ideas. But I'm a huge believer that focus is going to become a major competitive advantage, as one example, for what I'm going to talk about next week, for people of my generation and below, because for the most part we grew up with technology, we grew up with internet. I didn't have a smartphone, I didn't have any phone until I was 16 and driving, but I had a phone for most of my life. I've had the internet in my house since I was 12, 13 years old. So again, people my generation, I'm 31 and pretty much younger, have grown up being addicted to information overload, and people just get overwhelmed with information, and it makes it very hard to focus. This goes into that and more of what I'll talk about next week, but getting back specifically to unique ability. So what is kind of the overarching goal of unique ability? It's to get you to focus on what you love doing and what you're great at, so you're happy, so you produce more, so you're more successful, so you're not as stressed out, so you're not doing crappy work on stuff you hate doing, all this kind of stuff. And this goes to every, again, I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do in my team. I am going to focus on 5 or 6 things: servicing clients, creating content, creating videos, bringing in new clients, at some point doing live events and online events that we've already started in the masterclass and coaching program, these kind of things, expanding our businesses, strategizing, all these kind of things. These are the only things in time that I'm going to be focusing on. So I'll give you one example. One of my teammates is great at design. She's going to focus on the design of our website once we redo it again, all of our landing pages, all of our everything, in terms of design and kind of back end website work. Another teammate of mine, social media. She's great at marketing. I've been teaching her marketing stuff so she can take a great look at the marketing. She already handles all of our social media marketing. We're going to expand on that. Another person is great at videos and PowerPoint, and other stuff like that. Another person is kind of a general VA, which I'm going to try to get her to specialize as well, and we're going to see what she's great at, or I know what she's great at, but we're going to get her to try to focus on what she's great at, again, in time, so we can all become great and then do great work and then expand from there, and we'll fill in holes from there when we need to hire more people. It's also the concept of unique ability is focusing on your strengths, and essentially, put another way, it's focusing on your strengths and playing to your strengths and building and learning and continuing to grow those strengths, and hiring or eliminating weaknesses. Again, in terms of specifically me and my team, I suck at design. I suck at PowerPoint. I'm just terrible at both of them. So what I'm going to do is I have team members that will help me with both of those things, so I don't have to worry about it, which takes up mental energy. I can focus more on, again, stuff like this, stuff I love doing, generating more clients and all this kind of stuff. Stuff I actually love doing gives me energy. And that's another important concept of unique ability is, if you do stuff you hate, it's going to mentally drain you faster. If you do stuff you love doing and you're great at, you're going to get more energy from it. and I found that to be true. Uh, but frankly, this is the tip, very tip of the iceberg when it comes to the talk of unique ability. I hope it's interesting to you. It's very interesting to me as somebody who always wants to improve and always wants to learn and how to get better and how to improve and how to reach higher and higher levels of success. It's fascinating to me. And the ultimate kind of goal, as far as I know, again, I'm not in the program yet because I haven't reached that level. There's a minimum level. I think it's $100,000 a year, and then you have to pay like a $25,000 a year fee or something to be in the program. So I'm not in the program yet. But to my knowledge of what I've studied so far, of the kind of end goal is unique ability is you end up, once you get to a certain point, you focus on one thing and one thing only that you're great at. And that's Warren Buffett is a perfect example of that. He is probably the world's best investor because he can read and learn and read investment newspapers and read investment financials for 9-10 hours a day as much as he wants because he's hired other people to run the companies that he manages. And this is actually, now that I think about it, this is a perfect example. Warren Buffett does not run any companies that he owns. He has managers that run it so he can focus on allocating capital and learning and improving. Even he's 84, 85, something like that now. He still says he reads 500 pages a day of information to get ever better and better. He even has kind of hired out his second in command where he can bounce ideas off. And when he bought Blue Chip Stamps back in the day, and he brought on Charlie Munger as his vice chairman. So he has somebody even to bounce his ideas off so he can focus even further on capital allocation. That's how he's become so wealthy, and how he's built. I'm building a presentation on this right now. How he's turned an initial $100,000 investment into $530 billion in Berkshire Hathaway because of his unique ability to focus on what he's great at, which is capital allocation, essentially. Again, the ultimate goal for all of this is to focus, eliminate these kind of things. I have 5 or 6 on my list, the things I should be doing. Over time, the goal would be to eliminate and get down to only one, so you can focus on that 100% of your energy on that and become ultra successful. That's what I'm here to do. I want to become ultra successful to help as many people as possible. That's what I'm here to help you do as well. I want you to become ultra successful as well. I'm a huge believer in abundance. I don't have a scarcity mindset at all. I'm a huge believer if we continue to learn on these kind of resources like Value Investing blog, Value Investing in Your Car podcast, that hopefully someday I will get letters 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now saying people that some piece of your content helped me, and then that person will help another person, and just go from there. So I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And this is one way to do it, is talk about concepts like this that isn't necessarily value investing specific per se, but can help you in every aspect of your life. So I'd love to hear your comments on this in the comments below. Also, there are resources below this for Dan Sullivan and Strategic Coach if you want to learn more about that program or those programs. I believe I linked a 50-minute video presentation by Dan Sullivan on unique ability from the Genius Network that Joe Polish puts on. Joe Polish and Dan Sullivan also put it on an awesome podcast, 10X Talk, as well, that I've listened to. I think there's like 150 episodes. I think I'm up to like 20 or 30 now. I'm starting from the beginning and going forward to learn more about this concept again. Fantastic. There's a ton of resources about this kind of stuff. And frankly, this is the tip of the iceberg. About a 20-minute long video. I've been learning about this for a year and starting to implement a lot of this stuff myself just now, year and a half later. So love to hear your comments on this below. Love to hear your comments on how you focus better, how you focus on what you should be doing and not what you shouldn't be doing, all these kind of things. Delegation. Again, I've been doing this for a little while now, but I'm still constantly learning about this kind of stuff and get better at it. Hopefully, getting better at it. So again, if you're watching this on the blog, make sure to comment below, or on YouTube, make sure to comment below. I answer every comment myself. if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime we release a new video. And release new videos almost every day. Again, we're over 405 videos at this point. Another purpose or byproduct of this unique ability concept is I've delegated a lot to my team, so I can do videos like this. Which again, as of before we started this, I think it was about this time last year, last October, last November, 2017, I had 10 videos on YouTube. Now there are more than 405. So we'll continue to bring you more and more content like this. Make sure you subscribe so you're notified anytime we release a new video. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and share as well. Really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.